It is the last news dump of the year, which means we're going to try our best to tie up as many loose ends as possible, while also trying to leave enough meat on the bone for at least one more episode of Weekly Weird News before we finally take a much-needed vacation from both the internet and reality.
Bye-bye.
First on the docket for today is, of course, the biggest story of the month. The United Healthcare CEO assassin, Luigi Mangione, and what will eventually become the trial of this decade, where an actual real-life supervillain will be the defendant. And this isn't us trying to heap praise and admiration at the feet of Mr. Mangione. This image of a larger-than-life, almost Christ-like figure seems to be intentionally produced by law enforcement, ironically enough.
Yeah.
They're really going out of their way to make this guy seem cool as hell.
He's basically like the Joker.
Yeah,
if more people liked him.
It's strange that they would do such a weird photo op that really makes him look like an anti-hero. But yeah, after being extradited to New York, where he will face his most serious charges, the NYPD provided him with an entrance fit for a Hollywood superhero movie, as a dozen or so members of law enforcement and disgraced New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who is facing charges of his own, flanked the suspect as he exited a helicopter and was transported to a federal courtroom in Lower Manhattan.
I hope Eric Adams gets the same treatment when he is eventually sent to prison for his many crimes.
I only did this so that my perp walk is just as nice.
It was a beautiful perp walk.
Yeah.
Some are saying the best.
Yeah.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. We don't deal with outsiders very well. They say newcomers have a certain smell. Yeah, trust issues not to mention. They say they can smell your intentions. You laughing on the freak show sitting next to you. You have some weird people sitting next to you. You think how did I get here sitting next to you? But after all I've said, please don't forget.
Now, we can't really use the music that we would like to use in order to get our point across here, but we'll see what the royalty-free YouTube library has and see if that works for the soundtrack to his substantial welcome back to New York City. See, it would have been so much cooler if we had the rights to Jay-Z and Alicia Keys' hit song, New York State of Mind.
That would have been cool.
I'm sure that's what Eric Adams was pushing for.
Literally any action movie soundtrack under this, or dare I say, any track off of the Oscar-winning movie Suicide Squad would have been perfect for this.
Now look, if law enforcement and the powers that be want everyone to hate this guy, they're certainly going about it the wrong way by essentially coordinating a photo shoot to celebrate his return to the city that made him a star.
Yeah, we got those photos. You wanted him to look super cool the whole time, right?
A city whose police department had absolutely no significant hand in actually finding or apprehending the suspect, aside from just putting some grainy photos of him on the internet and saying, I don't know, you figure it out.
It is a funny aspect to this whole thing is the peacocking by the NYPD.
We did it, hey, we got our guy.
Just patting each other on the back.
A job well done, boys.
The mayor's there. It's quite the scene.
Yeah, and it's especially ridiculous when flanked by the city's criminal mayor.
He's a criminal.
It's like a movie plot, particularly from the Batman universe.
Yeah.
They are jokerfying this man, and the results of a new poll, as first reported on by MSNBC, show that around half the country, 42%, thinks that the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson by Luigi Mangione was either somewhat or completely acceptable.
41% of people in the country.
Woo!
Somewhat.
They're smashing the emergency glass so hard right now.
You can tell by the way the media is covering this. Like, and especially
they're freaked out.
With the fact that, during his first press conference, Trump mentioned how disturbing and sick it was that people would glorify this killer. And look, sure, there's people, I guess, glorifying it, but I think most people's reaction is just that they understand the anger that is coming out of people, and they...
Okay, wait, you want me to feel bad about this?
Yeah, but
okay, that's ridiculous. And the more you try to make me feel bad about this thing that I don't feel bad about, the more I'm coming around to actually thinking it was good.
Yeah, but getting back to the Trump thing, as people pointed out, it's like, you think you can't comprehend that people would find sympathy with this guy, yet you're very public about Kyle Rittenhouse and Daniel Penny.
Yeah, it's
it's just
complete cognitive dissonance.
Exactly. Now,
So yeah, that's obviously pretty wild.
Yeah.
That nearly half the country is on board with
seems
what he
okay
did.
with it, yeah.
And it further proves just how angry people actually are at the healthcare system in this country.
Even if they can't agree on what they're mad about.
Yeah, even if neither political party feels like addressing it at all.
Yeah.
It is still an issue that is near and dear to the hearts of a
Elliot,
lot of Americans.
They're figuring it out. They opened a hotline so that CEOs can call if they feel threatened.
We've solved the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as for Luigi and the new charges that he has received upon his return, here's ABC News.
Mangione was hit with 4 federal charges Thursday, including stalking, a firearms offense involving a silencer, and murder through use of a firearm, a charge that makes him eligible for the death penalty. The federal complaint contains previously unreleased excerpts from the notebook that police said they seized from Mangione. Authorities said the writings express hostility towards the health insurance industry and wealthy executives in particular. In an entry marked October 22nd, 2024, the writing said, 1.5 months. This investor conference is a true windfall. And most importantly, the message becomes self-evident. Lot less than he thought, though, because for a while, everyone was just like, well, why would someone do something like this?
It's inconceivable.
Later on in the entry, the pages describe an intent to whack the CEO of
that's the Italian coming out.
Yeah, the CEO of one of the insurance companies at its investor conference, the complaint said. Mangione waived extradition on Thursday morning and was transported via plane and helicopter from Pennsylvania to New York.
Anyway, Mangione made his initial appearance in federal court in Lower Manhattan on Thursday afternoon and answered yes to several questions by the judge. A Manhattan grand jury upgraded charges against Mangione to include first-degree murder in furtherance of terrorism, prosecutors announced Tuesday. He's also charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, one of which is charged as a killing in an act of terrorism, 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree, 4 counts of criminal possession of a weapon in the third degree, 1 count of criminal possession of a weapon in the fourth degree. How many degrees do these weapons have?
Ah, jeez.
And 1 count of criminal possession of a forged instrument in the second degree.
Yeah.
They got Capone on tax evasion. They're going to get Mangione on the fake ID.
Yeah, that's true. That's the one they're going to get him on. Next up on that list of stories, though, that we are, not we, but everyone, the whole world is trying to tie up before the end of the year.
Wrapping them up, putting them under the tree, and going out for a hot eggnog.
It's, of course, President-elect Donald Trump's many criminal cases.
We're not too worried about those anymore.
No, because back in November, Special Counsel Jack Smith announced that he'd be dropping all federal charges against Trump regarding the classified documents case and the one where he, oopsie, tried to overturn the results of an election.
More like Special Counsel Jack shit.
Yeah.
If you ask me what I think of this guy.
Now it looks like the case against him in Georgia, where he was accused of election interference, has also met its fate, as it was announced on Thursday of this week that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has been disqualified from the case, basically putting an end to the entire effort, despite leaving open the possibility, just like with the other stuff, the possibility that someone might come in and take over this case at a later date, at some point.
He-Man will return.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So for all intents and purposes, that's it, folks.
Yeah.
Every single one of Trump's criminal cases that was set to go to trial have either been dropped or put on indefinite hold. Which, of course, is yet another damning indictment of our justice system.
They really took their fucking sweet-ass time.
Yeah. Actually, they timed it perfectly. They got to make it appear as though he was going to face consequences, and then at the last second, they pulled that football right away.
Yeah. Great job, everyone.
With more on this, here's Axios.
The Georgia Court of Appeals ruled Thursday to disqualify Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis from President-elect Trump's state 2020 election interference case over a conflict of interest. Willis's disqualification casts the case into limbo, while Trump is also fighting to have his New York hush money case thrown out following his May 2024 conviction. After carefully considering the trial court's findings in its order, we conclude that it erred by failing to disqualify DA Willis and her office, the Georgia Appeals Court said in its ruling. The court noted that an appearance of impropriety generally is not enough to support disqualification, but said this is a rare case in which no other remedy but disqualification will suffice to restore public confidence in the integrity of these proceedings. The appeals court stopped short of throwing out the charges Willis's office brought against Trump in the case, writing in its ruling, "We affirm, however, the denial of the appellant's motion to dismiss the indictment. The case appears headed to Georgia's Supreme Court after the state filed its notice of intent to appeal on Thursday, hours after the ruling came down. There is no timeline for when the case might be heard or when a ruling will be issued.
And while we're on the topic of Trump and his boss, Mr. Elon Musk.
That's Sir, Mr. Trump.
Who is the actual president. Mr. Elon Musk, Mr. President, sir, he seems to have already gotten the United States and its millions of federal workers into a real pickle just in time for the holidays.
Thank you, sir.
Now, you might already be aware, or you know from watching our most recent video, but there is a completely self-inflicted government shutdown just hours away. And as of when we filmed this episode, there seemed to be very little progress on a bipartisan bill that could potentially avert a shutdown.
Seems like they're back to square one.
Yeah, and this is mostly thanks to the aforementioned Elon, President Musk, who decided to believe everything that was tweeted at him, and then rallied his social media platform around the idea that this bill was awful and needed to get voted down, even going so far as to post what appeared to be threats to any politicians who voted in favor of the spending bill.
Literally like sicking his followers on the phone lines of a ton of congressional offices too.
Yeah, and alluding to the fact that he would finance their opponents in the next elections. Well, he got the response that he wanted, and the bill was killed, but it turns out that everyone, including Donald Trump, disliked that. And a new bill was presented. A bill that should have, there's a lot of concessions I certainly don't agree with, but again, a bill that should have bridged the gap between the parties.
Also, people are like, why is this whole process so ridiculous? It's like, because they're supposed to come up with a budget way earlier than this, and they keep
it's not
putting
supposed
it
to
off.
happen last minute.
The process was dysfunctional. This is like step 10 of how this was not supposed to go.
Yeah, and look, they keep pushing it more towards concessions for Republicans, and they got a really big one this time. I'm sure they're pleased because Republicans got a significant cut to this bill, and it included things like children's cancer research.
Yeah, they're calling it the fuck them kids resolution.
Yeah, they were like, woo! Kids cancer research.
Kids with cancer? Not my problem.
Pretty expensive. Might want to just gut that from the bill.
Yeah. Get rid of it. We did it. Well, apparently that wasn't good enough either. And Elon has created a greater rift within the party and even started nervously posting Thursday afternoon in what appeared to be attempts to clear his name and place all the blame on Trump.
Folks, it's happening, and it's happening faster than we could have even anticipated.
It could be done by Christmas.
What a miracle.
This whirlwind romance could be done before the term actually begins. Wouldn't that be nice? Out of all the shitty bullshit we're gonna have to deal with for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's gonna be a terrible
nice little
time.
treat.
But the funniest possible thing between now and then would be Elon Musk being uninvited from the inauguration.
Yeah. But yeah, here's what Elon said about Trump.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not the author of this proposal. Credit to Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Mike Johnson. Second, this is a much better bill that is closer to being a real continuing resolution, not an omnibus masquerading as a CR, but with support for hurricane victims and farmers, as well as a reasonable extension to the debt ceiling. Clean and simple. If Dems reject this and government shuts down, they deserve to lose big time in the midterms.
This all in spite of the threats that he made against Republicans just 24 hours prior, which included his expressed support for a government shutdown until Trump takes office a month from now. Now he's saying that actually it's the Democrats' fault if the government shuts down. And if the government shuts down, that's actually bad. We should avoid the government shutting down.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Why would anyone want the government to shut down?
I've listened and I've learned a lot in these 24 hours. I have held space for the actual politicians who are very mad at me and decided that this is not my fault.
Yeah, there's also the distinct possibility that this guy had no fucking clue what a government shutdown actually was until hours and hours after he was tweeting constantly about how much he wanted one.
Yes. Now, amidst all this chaos that was created by an unelected billionaire, Trump has publicly stated that he just wants to abolish the debt ceiling outright, make quick work of it. I mean, talk about mixed messages. I mean, also, this should come as no surprise, but obviously, when Democrats are in charge and there is talk within their party about removing the debt ceiling, it is met with furor, just anger.
These tax and spend Democrats. This is
from conservatives.
Not how if this was a household budget, we'd be thrown out on the street.
But now you have the GOP's president-elect saying the same exact thing as he is poised to take office, and suddenly, shockingly, it is okay.
I mean, this is their fucking shit they put in place. They made it.
This is like Newt Gingrich in the 90s.
They're the ones that made it hard
Yeah.
to come up with an annual budget every fucking year.
Yeah.
Because they're obsessed with debt, which like and view it
Because they can use it as a political tool
Yeah.
successly against Democrats.
I
and it
mean,
works.
I'm not saying the debt is a non-issue. I'm just saying, like, it's really not as big an issue as anyone says it is. We are the United States of America. Got a lot of financial leeway that comes from being, like, the official world currency. Anyway.
Yeah, here's NBC News. President-elect Donald Trump said Thursday that Congress should get rid of the debt ceiling, a day after he came out against a deal reached by congressional lawmakers to fund the government before a shutdown occurs. In a phone interview with NBC News, Trump said getting rid of the debt ceiling entirely would be the smartest thing Congress could do. I would support that entirely. The Democrats have said they want to get rid of it. If they want to get rid of it, I would lead the charge, Trump added.
People in his party currently spinning their heads 360 degrees around
Yeah.
to this thing that they used to hate is now pretty cool,
We
actually.
here in the Conservative Party, we love TikTok. We love spending Venmo money on ladies, and we love raising the debt ceiling.
Yeah, getting rid of it altogether.
You know what? Get rid of it. Throw it out.
Who cares?
Let's spend as much as we want.
We in the Republican Party are now embracing modern monetary policy.
I mean, he set great spending records the first term. He really drove that deficit through the roof. Let's see if he can do it again, by God.
I think he can. Anyway, with Elon and Trump hashing it out behind the scenes, and both of them agreeing on how to move forward, it was up to congressional Republicans to actually get this new spending bill approved, and it was rejected by the House with a vote of 174 to 235. Dozens of Republicans voted against it, despite the bill being backed by Vice President Donald Trump and President Elon Musk.
Yeah.
By the time you watch this video, there might be movement on yet another update to the bill. Lord only knows. A Christmas miracle might be on the horizon, but the deadline is looming. It's looming like Laura Loomer, and if an agreement is not reached, the government will shut down on Saturday, leaving millions of federal workers without pay and halting all federal services that are not deemed essential until a spending bill is eventually approved. Fun fact, FDA food inspections are not considered essential, so that would be shut down, which is great news for a nation that has already been hit with multiple foodborne illnesses this year and looks to be maybe possibly on the verge of a bird flu epidemic.
Great time to lose FDA food
You know what?
inspections.
Who needs the feds getting their grubby little fingers in all my food?
We wouldn't even-
I have an immune system.
We wouldn't even know about all that boar's head meat being poisoned if it weren't for that pesky FDA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I could have eaten the boar's meat and been fine.
I think it is their tactic this term is just if there's no news, there's no bad news.
Yeah.
If you get rid of all the news, then you can't report on the bad stuff. If you get rid of the FDA and they can't inspect all of the meat factories in the country, well, then nothing will go wrong.
Yeah. Also, so are the FEMA people getting their money, or like what is happening with that?
That's what's funny about this too, because it's the way that it is presented by Musk, where Musk in his tweet is talking about how all the hurricane victims.
Well, yeah, they should obviously get.
But it's like, okay, well, that is FEMA, sir. That is FEMA.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Listen, spending Christmas in a tent. You know who else spent Christmas in a shoddy structure with no protection from the elements? That's right. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and his parents, Mary and Joseph. He was born in a fucking manger. That's what cows and goats and shit eat hay out of.
Yeah.
He was born in the toilet. And now you can spend Christmas in what is essentially modern day manger.
Yeah.
A FEMA tent.
Shitting your brains out because you're
Yeah.
eating poisoned food.
That's right. You can have a child in the toilet too.
But right about now, you're probably all wondering when we're gonna get to our daily people in New Jersey are discovering the night sky and it is terrifying them updates.
I'm so tired of this story. I didn't know like I would be so fucking done with it this quickly.
It's so aggravating because it's so dumb and it's perpetual. This should have been over with a week ago. People should have come. Every fucking elected official and everyone with a brain should have come out and been like, "No, you're not seeing fucking UAPs or foreign drones in the sky."
We
Instead,
have zero proof of anything going on after 2-3 weeks at this point.
Instead, you have a bunch of fucking, specifically Republican politicians out there claiming that it's something that it's not, and riling up a bunch of people.
I wish it was aliens so they could come and fucking kill me.
Yeah, that's right. And it turns out that in addition to scaring the residents of New Jersey, these unidentified flying objects are now also making people sick. And guess what, folks? You don't even have to witness one of these strange flying drones in order to get down with this sickness. According to some residents, just hearing or reading about the drones is enough to get them sick. And yes, first of all, grain of salt.
This is like a real life version of one of my favorite Monty Python sketches, which is like a fake documentary about writing the world's funniest joke and like dropping it in leaflets on like the Western Front in World War I. Okay. And the Germans, like, they hear it in loudspeakers and it makes them drop dead. It's so funny that you die. And they'll like pick it up and read it and start laughing and just die. And they're like trying to figure out like, how do we deliver this joke so that everyone's like got fucking earmuffs on and they're like reading the shit like one syllable at a time and trading syllables. It's very funny.
Yes.
So this is that, but with UAPs. Yeah. And they make you sick. Just even thinking about it makes you sick.
Everyone in New Jersey was like, I'd really like to get me some of that Havana syndrome without going down to Cuba.
Yeah.
Luckily, countries are now sending up drones to send Havana syndrome here to the United States.
What's the fake? Well, what the real illness where you think you give yourself fake illnesses?
I can't. I know the term. I can't think of it.
Munchausen's. We got a nation of Munchausen's.
But grain of salt. This is coming from interviews with the Daily Mail. But it just kind of summarizes the type of people who are freaking out about this right now.
I bet they're loving it over in England. Look at these stupid fucking Americans.
They get a little break from being the butt of everyone's jokes.
We're a bunch of sloppy little piggies over here in England, but at least we're not as sloppy and piggy-like as these fucking Americans over in New Jersey.
I mean, if you do look up at a map of every UFO sighting ever reported, it is all of the United States and England, and that is it.
They fucking started it.
Yeah.
The crop circles thing that was England.
Yeah.
They were obsessed with it. They had like government fucking inquiries into it for like the entire decade of the 80s and never found shit except like a couple pranksters who admitted, yeah, it was me. I made the crop circles as like a little art project.
We need to get the NYPD and Eric Adams over here to do a perp walk with this old farmer and his plank of wood that he used to create a crop circle. But anyways, here's the Daily Mail with people getting real sick. I mean, we're getting sick of these drones, but they're getting sick in a different way.
Yeah.
Residents in New Jersey and the wider tri-state area claim they have become mysteriously ill after seeing drones in the sky. After witnessing or reading about the devices, residents revealed how they started coughing, suffering from a blocked or runny nose, or experiencing puffed, watery eyes.
It's December.
One woman in New Jersey said she became so sick it felt like she was coughing up my lungs.
It's December.
While a second in New York City said her blocked sinuses must be because of the drones over Staten Island.
It is December, ma'am.
DailyMail.com heard from another New Jersey resident who said they had developed a stuffy nose and swollen runny eyes after the drones flew over their home. But doctors, those pesky doctors.
Those big know-it-alls down at the hospital.
those eggheads. Doctors.
Fucking dorks.
Doctors told the DailyMail.com after reviewing the symptoms that it was extremely unlikely these sicknesses were linked to the drones. They pointed out it was now the start of flu season.
Never heard of it.
And other illnesses like COVID, RSV, and norovirus become more common around this time.
No, I don't think so. Nice try.
It's definitely the drones.
I have never gotten a runny nose right before Christmas.
Sir,
this has never happened.
I can't come in. I'm sick. A lot of people are sick. You're going to have to come in anyway. This is America. You don't just call out sick for work. No. You don't understand. I got my sickness from the mysterious drones that have been flying over our state. Oh!
Well, stay the hell away from me.
Yeah, we don't want any of that alien intergalactic germ stuff on us.
No way.
Take the week off.
No fucking way. But while it's pretty funny and a little bit sad to see people convince themselves that the non-existent drones are getting them sick, we do have to agree with them on this one. We are also getting sick of hearing about these drones.
That's right.
Mostly because it's really frustrating to witness just how stupid some people are. Mm-hmm. Lots of people. Luckily, the FAA is doing something about it, and there's definitely not going to be any more drone sightings going forward. Folks, it's over. I hope you had fun.
They're going to perp walk that drone.
Obviously, that's not true. The idiots are going to keep on posting videos and filing false reports until the coverage of it all dies down from just oversaturation. But the FAA is actually putting restrictions in place that might reduce the number of things in the sky and also gives them the authority to impose harsh penalties for people who do defy the order. Do and will.
This is going to happen.
Here's the New York Times with more.
The Federal Aviation Administration has issued a month-long ban on drone flights over a large swath of New Jersey, the first broad prohibition of its kind since the authorities began investigating a spate of sightings last month that set off fear and speculation. The ban began late on Wednesday and will continue through January 17th, according to an FAA alert. Only drone pilots authorized to operate for national defense, law enforcement, or disaster response purposes are permitted to send the unmanned crafts aloft. The flight restrictions in the 22 regions apply only to drones. But pilots operating unmanned devices who fail to adhere to the no-fly rules may face swift consequences, including having drones intercepted and being questioned or detained by federal officials, FAA policies state. So look, hey, no more flying your drones in New Jersey, which is probably going to suck because there's certainly going to be a lot of people getting drones for Christmas.
Yeah.
But now, for sure, anything that people see in the night sky, now that this drone ban is in effect, the government has said that anything left in the night sky is clearly, definitely either aliens or Iranians.
Or maybe the aliens and Iranians have teamed up.
It's both. Maybe it's both.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scary.
It's the only explanation now that all drones have been grounded.
The truth is out there.
There's a big giant drone with lots of little window lights on the side and clearly marked FAA lights that are flashing. Looks like it's heading towards Newark Airport. I should give someone a call.
The aliens would disguise themselves as a 737.
Yeah.
Seems like something they would do. Anyway, we've made fun of New Jersey enough over the past week or so. It is time to tell all of you about the stupid shit that happens right here in our beautiful, kind of excessively warm right now, city of Los Angeles. Like how earlier this week, our city's deputy mayor called in a bomb threat to City Hall. And between that and Luigi's Perp walk, we're really starting to think that America is Gotham after all.
Yeah.
And there is no hero that we deserve. We don't deserve a hero.
All right, maybe the dog from the new Superman trailer. But then again, that dog's name is Crypto. Bad time.
I will not, don't even talk to me about crypto. It's just an insane sentence to read. The deputy mayor of a large metropolitan city called in a bomb threat to City Hall, where he works.
Yeah.
But apparently that's what happened. He has since been raided by the FBI as they try to figure out if he's actually the one responsible. And if so, why?
Yeah.
Why would you go and do that? Maybe he just needed a thrill. Here's the AP. FBI agents searched the home of a Los Angeles deputy mayor this week as part of an investigation into whether he made a bomb threat against City Hall, officials said. A statement from the office of Mayor Karen Bass said she was notified of Tuesday's search at the residence of Brian K. Williams, her deputy mayor for public safety, as part of a probe into an alleged threat. The Los Angeles Police Department confirmed that officers responded earlier this year to a bomb threat against City Hall.
Our initial investigation revealed that the source of the threat was likely from Brian Williams, deputy mayor for public safety, the department said in a statement Wednesday. Due to the department's working relationship with Mr. Williams, the investigation was referred to the FBI. The FBI remains the investigating agency. Williams' attorney, Dimitri Gorin, told the Los Angeles Times that his client strongly maintains his innocence and intends to vigorously fight the allegations. Zach Seidel, a spokesperson for Bass, said Williams has been placed on administrative leave. He has a lengthy career of public service and is presumed innocent of these allegations, Gorin said. Williams has spent nearly 2 years as a deputy mayor in Bass's office, working on issues such as police hiring, public safety spending, and the search for a new police chief. Now, I mean, it is LA, so it's also just as likely that the local police set him up, because calling a bomb threat into City Hall, it seems like a pretty extreme tactic to jump to, especially considering this guy has worked in the local government for 3 decades.
Yeah, yeah, that is an interesting theory.
It's a very strange time in LA politics right now, and
when is it not?
I know, but yeah, it just seems pretty out of character for this to happen. But could have been.
Maybe
he had to take a big shit.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't want to go to a meeting.
Yeah, this could have been an email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, very interesting. Looking forward to more details on that, because otherwise it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But now that we've caught you up on all that, we do have more news for you, including Mr. Beast potentially receiving an ancient mummy's curse.
Oh, you can't wish for luxuries at times like these, Elliot.
but that's going to have to wait just a quick second because we have to thank today's sponsors for supporting the show. And today we're starting with Manscaped. For some, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and for others, it's just another round of dodging questions about your love life while trying not to look like you just crawled out of a cave. Enter the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra by Manscaped to save your dignity this holiday season. Don't be that family member who shows up solo and scruffy to yet another holiday gathering. Get your winter overgrowth under control with the Weed Whacker 2.0 and let the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra help you seal the deal this cuffing season. Who knows, you might even outshine your weird uncle who's still rocking that goatee from 1985 and claim your spot at the top of the sibling power rankings. Join the over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by heading over to manscaped.com. Use the code NEWSDUMP for 20% off plus free shipping. Trust me, you'll be drafting the real MVP of grooming this season. It's going to be a touchdown for your balls and your face.
You're going to be the MVP of grooming, of gooning. You and your uncle going after the same ladies. Well, you're going to want
Step aside, Unc.
The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is your ultimate holiday helper, taking care of everything from below-the-waist maintenance to taming those rogue nose and ear hairs. Think of it as your seasonal survival kit, keeping you clean, confident, and ready to dominate cuffing season and all the festive gatherings ahead. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Groin and Body Hair Trimmer is the star of your holiday grooming lineup. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra delivers precise, smooth trimming every time. It's reliable, efficient, and ready to perform, whether you're prepping for a holiday date night, an office party, or just staying fresh for family gatherings. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra doesn't just stop at grooming essentials, it also comes with 2 holiday bonuses, the Boxers 2.0 Midnight Bravo and the Shed 2.0 Toiletry Bag. These premium extras make sure you're always ready to jingle and mingle, whether at home or on the go. So get 20% off plus free shipping with the code NEWSDUMP at manscaped.com. That is 20% off plus free shipping with the code NEWSDUMP at manscaped.com. Stay on top of your grooming game and be ready for anything the season throws at your way.
This episode is also brought to you by Factor. Notice how the days are shorter, but your to-do lists aren't? Power through your busy days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. From breakfast to dinner and anything between, Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options that you can add to your box, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. Don't let shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service.
Factor lets you do you. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. Because Factor's meals are chef-prepared and dietitian-approved, you're going to love not only how Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals. And Factor is cheaper than takeout and dining out, so you can put that extra cash you save towards holiday shopping. Find guilt-free comfort foods like home-style chicken and gravy and loaded mashed potato pork chops, feel-good vegan options like sweet potato and chickpea curry, and globally inspired flavors like Peruvian shrimp and red pepper collie grits.
Stay on your A game with quality ingredients you can trust and quality you can taste in every one of Factor's fresh, never frozen meals. Use your time more efficiently. So important during these dark months. Let Factor take shopping, prepping, cooking, and cleaning up off your daily list of things to do. Head to factormeals.com/50newsdump and use code 50newsdump to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code 50newsdump at factormeals.com/50newsdump to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping while your subscription is active.
Yeah, all right, now back into the news and straight into a story that I really, honestly only put in this episode so that I could have a reason to Photoshop Mr. Beast's face onto that incredible meme of the white pharaoh. And so that is alleged to originate
No,
from...
that's what the pharaoh looked like.
That's the meme about this is that it originated from an American textbook, which it's not true, though the fact that you believe it says a lot about our society.
Yeah.
But it actually turns out it's just marketing material for a mobile slot machine game.
Well, that's what I was raised. That's how I learned all my
History.
all my 3 R's.
Yeah.
Reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's why I don't know how to spell arithmetic.
Tell us everything you know about Genghis Khan. Well, when you get 5 Genghis Khans in a row, you get 10,000 tokens. And you can drink for free while you're playing.
That's right.
Anyways, Mr. Beast, the Beast Man. He has apparently
Everyone's favorite YouTuber.
Mr. Beast has apparently rented out the Great Pyramids of Giza for 100 hours straight so that he can create content. Which, I mean, it just goes to show you that everything on Earth, no matter how historically significant or culturally protected, is available for the right price. From Newsweek's reporting on this,
Mr. Beast, who was born James Donaldson.
that's such funny reporting. It's just like he legally changed his
Let me
name.
just dead name Mr. Beast for you for a second. Mr. Beast, who was born James Donaldson, told Olympian Noah Lyles on his podcast Beyond the Records that he plans to rent the 3 Great Pyramids for 100 hours to explore and video his experiences for his YouTube channel. The YouTuber said he is excited about going through all the rooms and the tombs and that kind of stuff, though he does not believe in ghosts. We got all 3 of the pyramids of Egypt for 100 hours, Mr. Beast said. I'm going to do a video where they're going to let me explore anywhere I want to in the pyramids for 100 hours. So we're going to sleep at the pyramids all to ourselves. We worked with the Egyptian government. Obviously, Mr. Beast becoming the first verifiable victim of an actual mummy's curse would be the most entertaining outcome. But based on the year that he's had so far, it feels like he might already be cursed. I mean, yeah, he's an extremely popular person who you would assume has a lot of money, but he really does seem to spend everything on his productions, and there's just a void of happiness that you can feel while staring into his eyes. I think he's doing just fine when you factor in all the crypto scams, the rug pulls that he ran.
Financially, he's doing great, but
The fact that I've never seen him do a complete smile where the mouth angles upwards, that tells me this man is not happy. Tells me he's smiling through the pain.
Either way, his first and potentially last attempt at breaking into traditional media is finally available over on Amazon. Though,
Beast Games.
as you're probably already aware, Beast Games has had its own share of controversy.
I didn't see it, but a lot of people were posting that, like, I think it was like Al Michaels or some sports announcer was like, all right, and be sure to tune into Beast Games.
Oh, on one of the NFL broadcasts?
Yeah, and he just did not seem to know what the fuck.
No, he's just reading copy. But yeah, it's had plenty of controversies, including the way that it treated its contestants. And there are 2 more bits of information that have just come to light as the show premieres. One of which was a confidentiality agreement that contestants were forced to sign, which says they would be sued for up to $500,000 if they were to leak any information from the set of the competition series. According to Business Insider, the terms within the leaked documents, quote, prohibit contestants from disclosing information about the show, which debuts Thursday on Amazon Prime Video. Contestants who break the agreement before the last episode airs must pay the producer and network $500,000 for each breach. After the last episode airs, each breach would cost contestants $100,000, the document said. The documents also ask contestants to agree that their portrayal in the program may be disparaging, defamatory, embarrassing, or of an otherwise unfavorable nature, and may expose them to public ridicule, humiliation, or condemnation.
I mean, I think this is pretty standard reality TV stuff, but
It is.
it is funny seeing it from like YouTube's good boy.
Yeah, yes. But
the only leaks from this show I've heard is that post-production was an absolute fucking shit show.
Yeah.
Because of the clash of cultures between how YouTube videos are edited and how broadcast television is edited, and it just made everything like significantly harder
I'm
to
sure
put
that
together.
the traditional media people were fucking pulling their hair out at every direction.
That's the vibe I got from the things I've heard.
And the only other leaks were coming from, people on the set and contestants themselves who were like, one of the gnarlier ones were just like, apparently they weren't taking dietary restrictions into account. And as we saw, like last week,
Someone died.
a fucking influencer died at a promotional event.
There's no peanuts in this, right? I will literally die. Like,
I think it's fine. Yeah, I think we got all the dietary restrictions. So yeah, that's a fucking big deal.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
But over on the more traditional side of the entertainment industry, it looks like a bunch of music industry titans abused a pandemic relief program that they used to enrich themselves instead of keeping people employed and keeping venue doors open during those brutal months of lockdown. What? PPP loan fraud from the music industry?
What?
In their reporting, Jack Newsham and Catherine Long, while writing for Business Insider, went into details about a few artists in particular. Lil Wayne, DJ Marshmello, Fortnite's DJ Marshmello,
Yep.
Chris Brown, and the bands Shinedown and Alice in Chains, not the real Alice in Chains. The entirety of their reporting is worth a read, but the amount of money that these artists were able to acquire only to spend on themselves and their lavish lifestyles is infuriating.
Yeah.
We could have gotten so much free money from the government, but our goddamn ethics got in the way.
Yeah.
Curse my ethics.
Yeah.
Here's just a few select quotes from their reporting. Links to the full articles always down below. A Business Insider investigation found Lil Wayne received an $8.9 million grant from a little-known pandemic relief program that he used to cover more than 2 years' worth of expending on luxury hotel stays, designer clothes, and travel to and from nightclub appearances around the country.
The rapper, whose real name is Dwayne Carter Jr., spent more than $1.3 million from the grant on private jet flights and over $460,000 on clothes and accessories, many of them from high-end brands like Gucci and Balenciaga. He billed taxpayers more than $175,000 for expenses related to a music festival promoting his marijuana brand, GKUA, including clothing for artists associated with his record label. He also used grant money to cover nearly $15,000 worth of flights and luxury hotel rooms for women whose connection to Lil Wayne's touring operation was unclear, including a waitress at a Hooters-type restaurant and a porn actress.
They were there so he could fuck them.
Yes, that's probably why.
Yeah.
They go into a breakdown of his expenses and then speak about how artists, their accountants and money managers made a real killing during the whole pandemic thing. Wow. The government's just throwing money away.
Yeah.
It would be silly if we didn't take some of that. I mean, I know it's supposed to go to people in need, but
After all, why shouldn't I?
they secured massive loans for acts who never needed them in the first place.
Yeah, meanwhile, every venue in Los Angeles that I actually enjoyed going to shut down within like a month of COVID kicking in.
Or was in complete destitute begging for money. Yeah,
e-begging.
So the reporting continues.
The money came from a program called the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant, signed into law by Trump in 2020 and championed by lawmakers including Senator Chuck Schumer. It was established as a lifeline for struggling independent venues and arts groups during the pandemic. Accounting firms and money managers soon realized their stadium-filling musician clients might be eligible for grant money via their loan-out companies, corporate entities used to handle the business of touring. Grants awarded to clients of one high-powered entertainment business management firm, NKSFB, totaled at least $207 million, Business Insider previously reported. NKSFB itself collected more than $7 million by helping its clients obtain the grants. They reached out to Lil Wayne for comment, and according to their reporting, he made a sexually explicit overture to a reporter and did not respond to questions.
Wow.
They also they go into some specifics related to other artists, and apparently DJ Marshmello and Chris Brown were some of the words. Chris Brown, a bad person?
Damn, his reputation's gonna be tarnished now.
I'm
the guy
shocked.
who is everyone is constantly shocked that he still has a career. That guy?
Yeah, he seems so pure, so kind.
Chris Brown spent his grant on a big paycheck and a big party. Of the $10 million grant Brown's company, CBE Touring, received, $5.1 million went to Brown personally. He also billed taxpayers nearly $80,000 for his 33rd birthday party. While the grant was meant to support live entertainment, Brown also charged $24,000 to the grant for the cost of driving his tour bus from the U.S. to Tulum, Mexico, and back in fall 2020 during a month-long stay for him and his entourage in the resort town where he did not perform.
This one's for me.
Marshmello, whose real name is Christopher Comstock, received a $9.9 million grant. More than a year later, when the SBA asked for proof of where it went, his business manager, Stephen McCauley of NKSFB, responded by saying all the money went into Comstock's pocket. Quote, because the beneficiary received 2019 officer draws / salary from 365 Touring International Inc. in excess of the SVOG grant award, we therefore expensed the entire grant balance to payroll, McCauley wrote in an April 2023 letter seen by Business Insider. In other words, because Comstock made more than $9.9 million from touring in 2019, he was able to award himself the entire grant. In doing so, Comstock paid himself more than any other musician who received grant money.
These people should all be in prison.
Yeah, he basically was like, I made more than $9.9 million in 2019 touring, which again was probably the final, like the height of EDM.
Yeah.
It was probably like 2014, 2015 or so.
And the height of Fortnite.
But yes, 2019 was definitely, for Marshmello, probably a career high, and was like, well, I made the money last year. The government owes me that much money this year is insane. And there is so much more to this story, including detailed breakdowns of how these affluent artists spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of your dollars by exploiting government programs meant to save small artists and local venues. It is gross.
They were just listening to the question marks guy.
Yeah.
Government money for you!
No! know. All their managers are dressed like that.
Yeah.
But seriously, please go check out the full reporting. They did a wonderful job on this. There's even if you don't like to read, there's a bunch of great infographics that show everything. But,
Yeah, this is upsetting.
yeah.
Fuck these people.
Exactly.
Throw them in a dungeon.
But let's finish out the episode with some updates on the Hornets. And
The Charlotte Hornets, my favorite NBA team.
You joke, but that is one of the stories.
Oh.
There's two stories involving Hornets, in fact, and both end up having a happy ending.
Okay.
Despite a few hiccups along the way.
So we're talking about basketball and not those pesky murder Hornets.
No, we're starting with the murder Hornets,
Oh,
Elliot.
okay.
Their attempted invasion of these United States, and the fact that, according to agricultural officials, these beasts have successfully been eradicated from our land 4 years after they first appeared in the Pacific Northwest. They are gone. Do not come back.
Big if true.
Yeah. With more on this very big win, which we all needed right now. Here's the Washington Post.
The buzz about the Hornets began in 2020 with viral warnings that the native Asian species could kill off entire hives as it spread into new territory, decapitating local bees and feeding the leftover thoraxes to their young. For Washington residents, the Hornet reports were another horror lurking outside their doors at a time when most had already been shut by the coronavirus pandemic. But this month, trappers in Washington took down the last trap set for the Hornets, marking 3 years without any confirmed detections and the conclusion of a mission supported by beekeepers, community members, and state and federal officials. "I'm thrilled," said Ruthie Danielson, a beekeeper involved in the eradication efforts. "I understand how rare it is to stop an invasive species." This is great, and it's listen, I'm sure if you looked at the line item, the invoice of what it cost to tackle this problem, it would seem like a lot of money, but it was worth the cost. It was worth the effort.
Yeah, but
because this would have been really fucking bad
That's the problem,
for
though,
U.S. agriculture.
is there is nothing more American than never paying the upfront cost and only
Yeah.
dealing with something after it's too late. So this is such a rare win.
Yeah.
And compared to other probably government programs, this is probably cheap. This is like 1 or 2 Chris Brown birthday parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like 1 year of marshmallow touring at most.
But I mean, this was an example of the government, like the state government, recognizing that this was a big fucking problem and devoting resources to doing something about it.
Yeah. It's what you like to see.
It would be cool if the federal government would look at something like there are other looming catastrophes on the horizon and maybe be proactive about dealing with them, regardless of how much it costs, because the problem will only get harder to deal with as more time progresses. That would be nice if that was an approach that was ever fucking taken.
Why would we want to repair our crumbling infrastructure like our beautiful bridges when we can just wait around for a foreign company to crash a boat into them?
Yeah. Why am I going
And
to
then
pay?
sue them for
Why
it.
am I going to pay a demo company to tear down this bridge when it's going to do the damn job itself?
Yeah, I just handed the captain a bottle of whiskey and said, good luck.
Yeah. You know how more expensive it would have been to demolish the Francis Scott Key Bridge? That ship captain did it for us for free.
That's right. Well, the following year, 3 more murder hornet nests were destroyed. For years, a crew of trappers checked in on their work tracking the hornets, sometimes doing so in pouring rain and through the smoke of wildfires. But since September 23, 2021, there have been no confirmed hornet detections. The state's last trap was taken down on December 5th, a signal that it eliminated its bee-thirsty threat. On Wednesday, state and federal agricultural officials declared the eradication a victory. Washingtonians celebrated the win online, including Governor Jay Inslee, who wrote on Facebook, "And don't come back."
Tell him, Jay.
Sven-Eric Spitzker, an entomologist for Washington's Agriculture Department, said in a news conference Wednesday that the state would keep monitoring hornet species that are invasive. He noted that officials in Georgia and South Carolina are fighting against a threat of their own, the yellow-legged hornet. "The battle will continue," Spitzker said. "We will continue to be vigilant."
Yeah, and again, like, this was a fun story. Like, I loved them being like, okay, so
Their suits were really cool too.
yeah, the suits, that whole day where they were just like, they brought out when they found the hive and they sucked them all up. But before that, they were like, and this is a question everyone has, like, how do you find, it's like a needle in a haystack. And they came up with the plan of like setting traps all over the place and like having people call like immediately if you see one. We'll come down there and we will glue a tiny little radio transmitter onto that bee, release it, and then just hope on that big old hornet, and just hope that our radio transmitters, we can triangulate where the fuck it's going before it gets out of range. And they managed to actually do it. It's crazy. These people are heroes.
I love a win. Yes. Actual heroes. There you go.
But with those Hornets gone, the focus of the entire country's ire was set on another group of Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets.
Elliot's beloved basketball team.
No. I don't want people getting the wrong idea here. I like their logo. I don't even know if they still have it, but it had like a cool 90s bee in a basketball uniform.
Well,
Hornets, sorry.
That bee, Elliot, as much as you love him, turns out to be the villain in this story.
Uh-oh.
Hornet.
So, yeah, the Charlotte Hornets are obviously an NBA basketball team, and they destroyed the hopes and dreams of a child during the holidays before ultimately correcting their mistake and potentially stopping this kid's villain arc from fully taking shape.
Yeah, good on them.
Basically, the team was doing a little promo during a recent game. Kids submitted things that they wanted for Christmas. They pulled a kid from the crowd who had asked for a PlayStation for Christmas. They had the Hornets mascot hand him a PlayStation in front of the crowd, only to take it away from him when the cameras were turned off. What? You can't do that. No. So, yeah, real diabolically evil move for a team to pull on Christmas. Now, to be fair, they gave the kid a jersey after, a jersey. But it's kind of shitty to get a kid's hopes up with a gift they really want, only to then take it away from them after the cheers have settled down, after you've gotten credit for being so generous to this child. Mm-hmm. They did eventually make it right, though, after plenty of public pressure. Here's CNN.
The Charlotte Hornets have apologized for appearing to gift a PlayStation 5 to a child during an on-court skit, only to later take it back from him off camera. The incident, which occurred during Monday's game against the Philadelphia 76ers, was captured in a post on X that now has 4.5 million views. The post shows the Hornets mascot, Hugo, dressed as Santa Claus, handing the PlayStation 5 to a young fan, who takes the gift with a mixture of shock and delight on his face. However, the X user, who said the child is his best friend's nephew, said Hornets staff later took the PlayStation back from the boy off camera and handed him a jersey instead. Speaking to local outlet Queen City News, QCN, the boy's uncle, Alexi Phillips, said a Hornets staff member whispered to him beforehand that the kids were not going to keep the presents they received on the court.
What?
Crucially, this information was not relayed to his 13-year-old nephew, who Phillips said is called Jack.
I mean, at least he's 13. Like, if this was an 8-year-old, this would be even more evil.
Yeah.
13, still
It's about time to have your
bad.
hopes crushed at
yeah,
13.
you got to learn sooner or later, kid. This is what life is like.
He should have smacked it out of his hand, actually.
But like, you can't do this.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
At this point, everybody thinks that Jack is going to get his PS5, including all the dancers, all the cheerleaders. Everybody basically starts congratulating him, Phillips told QCN. There was even a Hornets dancer who actually gave him the PS5. She starts to pack it up for him in the bag. Then we get kind of like all the way to the backstage, and the guy who kind of found us in the first place, he starts to kind of take it away. And everybody thinks he's joking because nobody would think he'd be taking the PS5 from the kid. It got pretty awkward because eventually he had to make it clear that he wasn't joking. The Hornets later apologized, saying the incident was an on-court skit that missed the mark. What? The skit included bad decision-making and poor communication. Simply put, we turned the ball over and we apologize, the Hornets said in a statement posted by WCNC Charlotte reporter Nick Carboni. We have reached out to the family and are committed to not only making it right, but to exceeding expectations. We will be providing the fan with the PS5 that he should have taken home last night, along with a VIP experience to a future game.
The Bee's going to punch him in the gut next
We're
time.
going to bring him to another game. We're going to offer him a Rolls Royce. And then we're going to set it on fire in front of
We're
him.
going to run him over with it.
Yeah.
It's so
I just
funny. It's
don't
like,
understand, how did they think, what were they going for?
I have no clue.
I don't understand. Did they really think, first of all, calling it a skit is very odd.
Yeah,
but
usually it's they'll have an opposing team's fan, or they'll have an employee dressed up as an employee.
Yeah.
They'll do something like that. Or even in the stretch of an imagination where they, for some reason, are playing a prank on a child with the expressed consent of his uncle or something, where, imagine if this was a 76ers fan. Yeah, we stole a PlayStation from because he likes the 76ers.
Yeah. It's like when Gritty pours a fucking pitcher of beer.
Yeah, but that's all staged.
I know.
This isn't staged. This is insane. It's a harsh thing to do, especially I don't know how fucking good the Charlotte Hornets are, but you'd have to assume they would have it in their, what I assume to be tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars budget.
Yeah, they can afford
for a fucking PS5.
Yeah. They've probably got like dozens of them in the fucking locker room.
They probably could get some for free from Sony for promotion for things
Yeah.
exactly like this.
Very strange. I just don't understand.
Anyways, a Christmas miracle. He's going to get a VIP experience so that he
Yeah.
doesn't have a negative...
We're going to take the boy to a strip club. VIP.
Yeah, he's going to get 100 hours with those cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the pyramids.
In the pyramids. With Mr. Beast there, too.
He gets to call in one bomb threat.
Hey, it's
No
Mr. Beast's home
consequences.
team, too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I bet he shows up in the locker room after going, great job, guys.
I'm just going to go ahead and take all the gifts that I
Yeah.
donated today back. Anyways, that's it for this week's episode of News Dump. We have one more episode for you this year. It's a little thing called Weekly Weird News. But after that, and only after that, not right now, only after that episode, we will be taking a week and a half or so.
And it's Jover for the rest of the year.
Yep, for at least the rest of the year. So, if you had a great time, well, no one had a great time this year, especially the last 2 months. But if you enjoyed the past 360-something days of the year with us, filling out some time for you, creating some content, and making you laugh, making you cry inadvertently, or just giving you something to do, please consider hitting the join button or the thank button and contributing towards next year's funding goals. But if you just want to watch the show, that is completely fine. You can help out by clicking the like button. Take a second, click that button. We wouldn't ask if it didn't work, so just click it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment. Discuss whatever you want below. What presents would you steal from a child? Put those in the comments below, and we will see you soon for some weekly weird news. And after that, we're gone. Bye.
Bye-bye.